friends, the Lord is with you.
And also with you.
Thank you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "Be constantly on the watch, stay awake. You do not know the appointed time when it will come. It is like people traveling abroad. They leave their home and their place and place their employees in charge, each with their own task. And those who watch are the front gate. They are ordered to stay alert. So you too stay alert. You do not know when the owner of the house is coming, whether at dusk or at midnight, when the cock crows or at early dawn. Do not let the owner suddenly catch you asleep. What I say to you, I say to all, watch." My friends, the gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. As I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate honesty and transparency and truth-telling. It makes life a lot easier, and I found that I don't need to remember things, that if I can tell the truth, it makes it much easier. I don't come up with things or invent things. And also in my job, when somebody tells me the truth, it's a lot easier to deal with the truth than it is to try to figure out what's really true or what's half of the truth, right? And maybe you all have experienced that yourselves. With that in mind, though, I have to be honest, and I have to confess that I did indeed actually participate in one of the bastions of capitalism this past week. Yesterday, I partook in Black Friday. I should say the day before, wasn't it? Thursday night. But it was with good reason, and it was with good intent. You see, I do have to say it was my first and may well be my last. But you see, over the past few months, I guess our television has progressively lost its color. And although I rarely watch it, being colorblind does have its advantages. Because I got the impression that things were looking quite good. I had no idea that the pinks were, or that the reds were actually turning pink, and the green was actually turning brown, and the blue was actually turning more purple than blue. Thank God that vestments have a particular style, because I know that I'm wearing blue tonight, because last year I was wearing purple. Yeah. So, on the front page of one of the flyers in the paper on Thursday was a circular with a new flat screen TV that would actually fit within my budget and the cabinet that I built for the TV that we presently had. Everything worked. So I decided that I had to go on this adventure. And I think it was kind of a journey, much like we enter into today. And I was with a lot of other sojourners. But my friends, I'll tell you, I had a mission, and I was on that mission. I was clear, concise, and focused. I had somebody pre-check it out. Kathy went into the store, figured out exactly where the TVs were, how many there were on the pallets, where they were in the store, and exactly how to get to them. No problem, I take a nap. I took a nap, got up, went into the store at 11 o'clock thinking, this is not going to be an issue. I pulled into the parking lot, only to find that this parking lot was absolutely jam-packed. And I have never seen this parking lot jam-packed. Had I not known better, I would have thought something really big was happening, because I have never seen this many people in one place, especially in a store at one time. And I literally ended up parking about a half a mile away in order to pursue my clear, concise target. So, when I did manage to make it into the store, my jaw pretty much dropped. Thank God it wasn't summer, because it would have been filled with mosquitoes. Because I have never seen this many people in one place at one time. And you couldn't even get to the checkout aisle. I mean, longer than this.
the clothes. It's like, where are all you people coming from, and what are you doing here at midnight? Of course, I'm one of them. But I still can't figure out what you're doing here. And I proceeded to put my teeth back in my mouth and head down the aisle because I knew exactly where I was going. And I headed right along the edge of the frozen food because the aisle was open. And I saw the pallets that Candy had said were right there at the end. And I thought, oh good, I got a clear shot. This is going to be a whiz. And I proceeded down that aisle. And I reached up and I grabbed the first one off of the top of the pallet, only to be nearly dismembered by about 250 other people on the other side of the pallet who I had no idea were waiting for those TVs. And they, under threat of physical punishment, proceeded to tell me that I needed to be at the back of the line, which went that way. And that it was very clear that I should not be taking the TV which was in my hand at that particular time. So, under threat of life and limb, I proceeded down to the back of the aisle. Needless to say, it was an adventure. I had at least went with an open attitude, figuring I had to wait a little while, thinking I was really smart. I didn't have to, but I did go with that attitude that I thought, well, it's an adventure, we'll see what happens. So I got to know the people that I was standing in line with over the next few hours. It was really kind of fun. Mike and Tom were directly in front of me. They're both cops in Egan. I have no idea what their last names are, but they were nice. They were right in front of me, and Sheila and Doris were right behind me, and we actually had a good time doing all that waiting for those. And I do have to be honest, the very first person, the second or third person actually that received the TV had a cart, and just one of those shopping carts, and they put 4 TVs on top of his cart. I was not really happy because I thought this was going to be a one-person TV thing, So when he rolled his cart past me, I said, "Sir, I'm not trying to be smart or anything, but I don't think you could possibly watch 4 TVs at one time." I said nothing else, but I honestly thought that was true. Actually, that whole experience really gave me a chance to reflect on Lent. Not only did I have to wait like we do in this season of Lent, but, oh yeah, I'll get the season right too. Not only do we have to wait like we do in the season of Advent, but I had to wait with a bunch of strangers whom I didn't know, and I certainly had a choice. I could go with an open attitude, or I could go with a junkie attitude. Obviously, some people had a junkie attitude. Some people like myself, I got to know some people in line. I don't know if they know me, but I know them. But here's the question that really struck me. It really hit home. If you and I knew, and if the whole world, let's just pretend for one minute, let's pretend that we knew the end of the world was going to happen at midnight tomorrow. Let's just pretend. Do you think Walmart and Target would be open? Would you and I? Yeah. Says yes.
2 hours before.
2 hours before. Would you and I really be standing in line? I mean, would I be standing in line for a TV? Would the parking lots of the Mall of America be filled? If we knew it was going to end, where would we be? Would we? Would our churches be full? And the synagogues be full? And temples be full? Is that what we do? Or I really do question some of this. Last night, or Thursday night, I really wonder if maybe some people wouldn't be in line at Walmart wanting to make sure that they had the latest gadget so that when they meet their maker, they could say, "Look at this new iPhone. This thing rocks." But I wonder. I really do. I really wonder where we would be, because in answering that question for ourselves, it really points out our relationship with God. Where is God in the midst of all this? I swear, my friends, this is what I really want to do. You and I are sojourners on this journey of faith, right? I really want to do this. Next year, I want to put an ad in the Thanksgiving newspaper that night of Black Friday. I want to put a big, colorful ad that reads something like this. Join us at midnight for prayer, fellowship, coffee, cookies, soup, and faith. Because it's all free and the rewards are eternal. I wonder if communities of faith actually would, rather than fighting this whole thing of capitalism, I wonder if we would join with it in that way and say, you know what, join us. Join us. Number one, it's free. It doesn't cost you a dime. And look what you get. Look what you get out of this. I want to put a big colored flyer in the newspaper next year. I really do. Because the task of the season of Advent, my friends, is not to pretend that Christ hasn't been born. We know that. 2,000 years ago in Bethlehem, it's historically proven, yes, Christ was born. We know that, and we're not stepping into the season pretending that he wasn't. We're stepping into this season to bring ourselves into more awareness of the Christ who is present. It's why we proclaim it, Emmanuel, God with us, right here, right now. What we do for the majority of the rest of our lives is we run around kind of ignoring the fact that God is right here. And sometimes the God that we encounter here is really nice, and it's really happy, and it makes me feel really good and really peaceful and really full of serenity. And sometimes the God that I experience here ticks me off to the max. Sometimes it really upsets me. Sometimes the God that I experience in the presence is really a mystery, and I don't understand that God. That's why precisely you and I have to be sojourners. That's why I don't do this journey of faith alone. We do this journey of faith together. Because when it's a mystery for me, maybe it's very clear and joyful and happy for you. And you can carry me through the mystery, or you can carry me through the pain, or I can carry you through that when you're encountering that. That is what this season of Advent is about. When the gospel says, watch, maybe that's precisely what you and I can do during this season. I really want to encourage you, really watch for the glimpses of God that are in our lives. Watch for the times that God reveals God's self to us in our lives, all the time in little teeny ways that you and I would probably normally miss. You know, when the person lets you in line, or the person doesn't flip you off when you cut them off in traffic, or whatever other million ways that God is present that we just aren't aware of. That's what this season is. That's what this Advent season is all about. Growing our awareness of the God who is present right here, right now. So maybe that's what we can do this week. Maybe this week, and maybe even into the 3 weeks ahead. Maybe we can watch, focus ourselves, if you will, open our hearts, open our eyes, open our ears to catch glimpses of the God who is right here, right now. The God who is Emmanuel, God with us. Let's just see. Let's just see if we can discover the God who is